When winter's chill settles in and your garden beds lie bare, it's easy to feel that sinking worry. No leaves, no mulch, no protection for your precious soil. But here's the twist that might change how you see your garden forever. You don't need leaves at all. In fact, the most powerful mulch system in nature doesn't come from trees. It comes from the ground itself. Right now, beneath your boots, a silent workforce of earthworms is waiting to turn your soil into rich, living compost that feeds your plants all winter long. This is the Earthworm Mulch Method, a simple, natural, and self-sustaining way to keep your garden thriving, even when everything above ground seems asleep. Why earthworms are the hidden heroes of winter gardening. Earthworms are the unsung heroes of the soil world. While mulch made from leaves or straw sits on the surface, earthworms go deeper, much deeper. They tunnel through the ground, loosening compacted layers and pulling bits of organic matter underground. This creates a perfect environment for air, water, and plant roots to move freely. But what makes them truly magical is what they leave behind: worm castings. These tiny granules are some of the richest natural fertilizers on Earth, packed with nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and beneficial microbes that supercharge soil fertility. Think of worms as living, self-powered tillers that never tire. They quietly feed, aerate, and fertilize your soil from the inside out. Even when frost covers the ground, earthworms remain active in the deeper layers, turning your mulch materials into dark, crumbly humus. That means your soil doesn't just survive the winter, it evolves. By spring, it's looser, more fertile, and bursting with microbial life. Why you don't need leaves for great mulch. For many gardeners, leaf mulch is a winter go-to. But what if your trees don't drop many leaves, or you just don't want to deal with soggy, decomposing piles? Buying bales or bags of leaves adds cost, time, and mess. The earthworm mulch method is different. Instead of covering your beds with dry material, you actually feed your soil with a living layer designed specifically for worms. So, the goal is simple: give the worms a consistent food source, and honestly, they'll take care of everything else. The result is a self-renewing mulch system that not only protects your soil from erosion and moisture loss, but also fertilizes it naturally, from the roots upward. Here's the earthworm mulch recipe that transforms your soil. You only need a few simple ingredients to start your own worm-feeding mulch. Everything can come straight from your kitchen or compost pile. You'll want 1 part well-aged compost. This provides a stable base full of beneficial microbes and organic matter. Then, 1 part shredded cardboard or paper, since worms really love cellulose, and shredded cardboard keeps the mix airy and absorbent. And finally, 1 part kitchen scraps. Vegetable and fruit peels, coffee grounds, and crushed eggshells are just perfect. Oh, and be sure to avoid meat, dairy, and oily foods, which can attract pests. Once you've combined your ingredients, just add about 2 cups of water for every 10 cups of dry material. The goal is to achieve a texture that feels like a wrung-out sponge, damp but not dripping. Next, spread a 2-inch layer of this mix directly over your soil beds. To protect it from drying out or blowing away, cover it lightly with straw, grass clippings, or a thin sheet of burlap. Worms will quickly find this feast, especially if your soil is already moist. And within a few weeks, you'll start seeing the first signs of their work: tiny dark specks of worm castings scattered across the surface. So, keeping worms active all winter isn't as tricky as it might sound. Earthworms are pretty hardy, but honestly, they thrive best in cool, moist conditions, not frozen or bone-dry soil. If you live in a colder climate, it's a good idea to add an extra inch or 2 of cover material for insulation. The worms will naturally burrow deeper when the temperature drops, and then return to the surface when things warm up again. The key here is consistency. Just keep a steady layer of organic food available and try to avoid disturbing your soil too often. This method actually works even under a light snow cover, because the decomposition process itself creates a gentle warmth, encouraging worms to stay active longer into winter. With each passing week, they'll convert your mulch mix into a nutrient-packed layer of humus that supports next season's growth. By the time spring rolls around, your worm mulch will have quietly transformed into dark, rich soil that's absolutely alive with microorganisms. You'll probably notice immediate changes. better drainage, easier soil texture, and plants that just seem stronger and more vibrant, even with less added fertilizer. Gardeners who use this method often describe their soil as black gold, and honestly, it's easy to see why. Tomatoes grow earlier, leafy greens become fuller, and even those stubborn clay beds start to crumble into soft, workable earth. So, a quick way to test your progress is to grab a handful of soil and squeeze it gently. If it crumbles easily and gives off that unmistakable earthy smell, you're looking at living soil, exactly what your garden needs to thrive. Low maintenance, high reward. Once your earthworm mulch system is in place, it practically runs itself. Every few months, just refresh the top layer with a small amount of new organic material and keep it lightly moist. You'll quickly find that your need for store-bought fertilizers and frequent watering decreases dramatically. Because worms naturally improve soil structure, water retention increases, helping your plants stay resilient during dry spells. What makes this system so powerful is that it mirrors nature's own cycles. Nothing is wasted, everything feeds something else. While traditional mulch sits idle, the worm mulch method creates a living feedback loop. Worms eat, digest, and enrich your soil continuously. Even when the garden seems dormant, life beneath the surface never stops. A sustainable way to garden through winter. At its heart, this method isn't just about boosting soil fertility, it's about working with nature instead of against it. You're building a garden that sustains itself, where soil life thrives year-round. By encouraging earthworms and providing the right food, you turn your garden beds into living ecosystems that protect and nourish your plants season after season. So the next time you're staring at your leafless yard, wondering how to protect your soil for winter, remember this. The best mulch might already be under your feet. The earthworms are waiting for their cue. Feed them right, give them shelter, and they'll reward you with fertile, living soil that keeps your garden thriving no matter the weather. If this guide inspired you, don't let the secret stay buried. Subscribe to Crop Corner for more hands-on gardening wisdom and natural soil hacks. Share this with a fellow gardener who could use a little winter magic in their beds. Together, let's grow gardens that never sleep, even in the coldest months.